Thanks everyone for coming to the show. It's the 26th week of Fridays with xhu98. It's pretty amazing we've come this far, and it's almost half a year since I started doing it. And oh, hi, it's Spiriton. Thanks for coming, and I hope your brother M Lopez has given you a brief idea of what this show is all about. I'm so nervous. Anyways, I'm just glad that you guys can all participate in the show. Is This show is about 2 hours, so and it's almost weekend, so I really do appreciate you guys would tune in and join the conversation. And by the way, this video of course will be uploaded to YouTube. I am recording it now, so feel free to ask your questions. This is a great chance if you do. I already pasted the link to the forum thread, and as well as the YouTube channel. The link to the YouTube channel. So if you guys could go ahead and subscribe, or like the video, or else like the thread, that would be really awesome. Just to answer your question, Noah the Fuzzy, is number 26 is my 26th show in total. I've been doing Q&As without audio, and I've been doing other stuff, but this is only the second recorded episode with audio. So yeah. And it's been another great week for the Nova League. I hope you guys have all enjoyed your games. I personally have had three, I guess, thrilling games, I could say, already. And I'm going to talk about them today. So, should be a lot of fun. So I hope this league has offered you an atmosphere or an environment for high quality gameplay, I guess. And once again, I would like to thank our beautiful Mikasa for everything. She's been working very tirelessly, and if you guys get to say hello to her, don't forget to drop a thank you, because we really should encourage we really should encourage this type of hard work, and she's been doing great. And she has had a lot of reviews, and those will be available on the teaching section or the study section of the website. And oh, by the way, for those of you who do not know, the website is this. So it's pinnacle.org/TNL, which stands for the Nova League. So, oh hey Rasmus, yeah, over 50 listeners now, right? Yeah, I know, right? I'm starting to get a little bit nervous here. It's not the first time I've done this, but actually the fifth or the sixth time. But I always get pretty psyched. Yeah, so this league has been brought to you guys by me and Mikasa, as well as the 5 other administrators. And I would like to take a moment to thank all of the administrators for all their work. So this includes M. Lopez, and we are very glad to see him here, and hope you enjoy this. Oh, and could somebody tell him how to switch on the audio? That would be great. Yeah. So I would say, yeah, exactly. Click on the speaker icon, and you should be able to hear me. Yeah, and if you want to talk to me, guys, don't please talk in the public chat. I don't want to let private messaging videos, private messaging windows affect the quality. So, all right. So, how's everyone? It's been another Friday, and this is the 26th consecutive week I've been doing this. It's been an amazing journey, and I couldn't believe I have actually survived for this series. It's been happening every Friday, even during the breaks and the harder times. So I'm just glad that I could make this a reality under the help of many, many people. And among the audience today are a couple of very loyal, I could say, spectators or audience. So I would like to thank you as well, because this is a show about you guys. You guys are the central part of the entire voice, right? So I'm just here to ask your questions. So, just a little bit about me. I am xhu98. I am a moderator of OGS, and I've been here for a couple of months. This is probably my 6th or 7th month here, and yeah. I personally do a lot of stuff on OGS. I organized tournaments. I've played myself very competitively. Uh, I've been creating puzzles and doing this show, of course. And yeah, so it all really depends on the support from you guys. And obviously, I don't charge for anything I'm doing here, so it just makes me feel great that I'm doing all those voluntary stuff, and hopefully you guys will enjoy what I'm doing. Okay. So yeah, that was a pretty long intro. It took me 15 minutes. Yeah, so over the course of last week, I have actually had 3 league games, which I found very intriguing. So I want to share some of my thoughts on those games. I'm making comments on the spot a little bit, so I haven't. This isn't scripted or anything, because I'll just pretty much do live commentary, if you like. So yeah. It's cold in my room. Okay, so this is my first game. This is actually played with Qui-Gon. I believe that's the way you pronounce it. He is a 2-dun, but in fact he's a pretty strong player. And so, if you guys have actually been joining my show in the last 2 weeks, I actually talked about mini Chinese openings a lot, and I would say it's a pretty good opening to use, because once you get the bottom side, you definitely know what to do next. Because, for example, after move 7, black has built this very solid, or not very solid, but at least it's like a good structure. So, oh hey guys, who's this guy? Who's this guy with the purple username? Good to see you, C. Rogers, and oh yeah, thanks for coming, Kuroneko, and you'll find the entirety of this recording on YouTube. I know my speech hasn't quite reached your standards, but yeah, thanks for coming, and I hope you enjoy your afternoon. This is another Friday. Okay. Let me just link again. Could hold on 1 second. Yeah. So, just to answer a question, Noah, I am black in this game. Yeah. So I was going to utilize this mini Chinese opening because I've talked about it in the past 2 weeks, and this is kind of like a demonstration. So if you guys are not sure about like the basics of mini Chinese openings, you can find my 25th show, which was last week's episode, and you can go check that out. So I decided to split, and so this is all normal so far. White has taken the right side a bit, but black's bottom right territory is pretty solid, at least until now. Oh, and by the way, you guys can feel free to ask any questions you guys have, because I do want this to be like a conversation. So don't be afraid to ask any questions, and yeah, because this is intended to be a Q&A. Alright, so it's going pretty normal so far, and white decides to reduce black's moyo, which is pretty reasonable. And in the game, I actually attached at 17, which I think was pretty good, because I'll try to put some move comments. Yeah. So I'm trying to understand the things you do in McLaughlin. Well, basically, you mean like the thing I do every week? So basically, I have a show every Friday. It's live on OGS, and I try to answer any questions you guys might have, and we usually go over some games, or those games could be on demand. You could message me if you would like to have one of your games reviewed here, and you'll be joined by let's say 50 odd people, who will probably offer a lot of good insight. So, well, I'm glad that you found out about this show and hope you like it. And a matter of said, ps.wallery.net says Lee Sato has played this exact opening. Yes, this is actually a pretty popular opening. And it's not hard to understand why pros like this opening. Because, except that 18-19 exchange didn't happen, seems good for black. Yes, it's not bad. I mean, the reason I wanted to play 17 was I didn't want white to reduce this too much. So I wanted to keep the pressure on tight. So for example, if black just played it here, or J4, then I would say white has this powerful attachment at M3, which could be tricky to handle, because there is a little bit of room for white to maneuver here, I guess. And since this is black's home turf, he'll probably want to defend it in the best way possible. So in the game, this went quite well, but unfortunately, what happened next was not very pleasant. So white attached here. So let's see what happened in the game. Black xhu98, white cut, and it seems that black has got himself in a little bit of dilemma, because he wanted to kill all of white here. And in the game I played this, which was pretty bad, because actually this could be way worse, because if it goes like this, hold on one second. If it goes like this, Carp says, thank you, whoever. Yeah, I was afraid of this variation here. So this will probably not be the best variation black wants. In the game white just played the Atari from outside at 26, which was still pretty bad for black. So I guess in the game I could have just extended here, and since black has super solid structure, I don't think he should be afraid of keeping the pressure on, even here. I think black definitely shouldn't be afraid of playing this, because white is surrounded by a lot of black stones. So black should definitely defend this in the most confident way possible. So I guess this could have worked out better. A matter of said, what about 21 at S3 or S4? Well, I guess, well, if you play S3, what I was wondering about was if white cuts, then this leaves a lot of agi, and I was thinking about this, but I guess, yeah, this will work pretty nicely for black. But I guess the xhu98 just gives white a lot of options, you know what I'm saying? Because, for example, if black wants to avoid variations, white could still make something here, and I don't know if I like that personally, but But yeah, I guess S3 is not a bad move. So also a matter of mention S4. Um, I was fearing that white might just jump out of 22, and then if black goes on and takes the corner, then white has some free space for escaping, I guess. But anyways, both approaches should be better than this xhu98 at 21 because it just gives white so many options, I guess. Another thing in my mind was actually this variation. So when white cuts black 23, Atari is from this side, and what I didn't like about that was what if white just goes on and lifts the corner? Then I mean, this is not bad for black, but I just feel like um, it's kind of repetitive his structure because if it goes this way, then the attachment at 17, 19 is like really uh, redundant because you already have a Ponuki here and you're still attaching from that side. So yeah, exactly. So that's why this wasn't good because if you play this way, you must not let white lift that easily in the corner. But ironically, this oh, and D drop said after the crosscut is just extending bad. You mean like this one? Yeah, I feel like or even you know what white could just play here or even more lightly because this leaves a lot of agi, and that's not what I like about this situation. But even so, I feel like this is much better than the actual case. So yeah, your point is very valid, and I hope if that answers your question. Um, yeah. Um. Oh, and by the way, if black extends this way, then this is not good for him because you see here after y26, then what happens is this: A and B are mi, which means white could take either one of them, and this would be a successful reduction for white. So I just didn't like that variation in general. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but anyways, all of those variations should be better than the one in the real game because I just, um, it's not this one. White just like lived, tremendously in the corner, and this could be the worst local, variation. So because S7 and S4 are Mia, white lives in the corner. So black moves on to other things on the right side. I intended to get this cut at Q6 in Sente because I feel like I always felt like I could kill white's right group, and this was a misconception, but I always felt like that because after I kill, after I cut at Q6, then T7 is going to be Sente, and so I felt pretty good there, and um, my time wasn't my time was in good control. Um, I wasn't rushing, but yeah, it was just this. It was just this uh, mistake, mistaken feeling that made me play the cut here, which was kind of bad locally because it just allowed white to capture the black stone at 53. So I went on to try to I guess steal um, the second knife from white, but then this ended really badly. Um, the problem is if I continue to struggle here, then that is going to be very terrible because black has awful shape, and this is definitely not what he's looking for. Um, and the next step, white could actually just extend, and or in better words, escape into the center. And notice that black's group here is not entirely alive yet, so this will be very terrible because black needs another move in the corner to support his dumpling, I guess. So this is not what you would like. Yeah, and this is my trademark technique, marking emoticons on stones, and try ask other people if you don't know this trick yet. It's pretty cool on OGS. so this I decided this was too bad for me to continue. I don't know about this move at 72. I feel like this was a little bit slack from white because even though it secures the capture of black 53, this move isn't that crucial um, in fact. So I feel this was a little bit slack. And by the way, white should definitely play just like capture very cleanly at 70 because this eliminates the agi, and for example, black can't play here because otherwise white could just push through. So black must play here. Then it's like the same effect, except white has cleared the agi in the corner, and then after that, R17 is going to be very lucrative. The difference you can see later is when white plays R17, and what will happen. So that's the question. But yeah, it's very interesting, and this actually happened in the end game, so we're more on that later. So just wondering if you guys have any questions so far. This has been good pacing for you. I don't want to rush too much. I have 3 games to share with you guys today. So each individual game could be commentated at a faster speed than normal. So black gets this Kakari at 73, and notice that it is time for black to fight back, and it's very important if that when that happens in your game, because you always want to keep the pressure on, and you always want to fight back when you're behind, and hope for a possible comeback, I guess. Um, but so I think this game is pretty fair for everyone. You do have to strive for the best. Um, However, you are leading or behind. So black gets uh, a huge Joseki exchange. He gets half of the top side, and he has this wall on the right side as well. So this is still a pretty fair and square game for both. And then white plays a 78 here, and this is very aggressive indeed, because this is aiming. White 78 is aiming at black's weakness at A, because so when I played the pincer at 79, I was actually worried if white would actually play this, and this will well be a tricky situation for black to handle. So for example, if white plays at 82, this attachment is very good now, because black obviously cannot cut. If he cuts, then his shape is pretty much going to be broken. And notice that this wouldn't be made possible without white's move at 80 or h17 in terms of coordinates. So white is doing in pretty good shape here. And next, he actually has a couple of good points. For example, the attachment at A, and the attachment at B, or maybe if his group is strong enough, even C is very possible. Oh, and hello, Mark. Good to see you. Mark Angelico has been. I remember you've been here a couple of times, so it's very great to see you joining our show, and yeah. D dropped it. Now 72 is very useful. Actually, it is indeed, because it just gives white so much confidence um, in the central influence, I guess. So 72 wasn't a move for nothing, but maybe what could have happened earlier. Maybe this would be a good plan for white. And Mark Angelico said, "Yeah, I upgraded a lot with your move." Yeah. Well, hopefully that is what is happening, and thank you for supporting the show. And I'm really glad to see that this show could be of any hope to you guys, because the fundamental purpose of it is, we talk through the games, and we figure out ways to improve, and I'm personally a 3 done, but I mean there are people better than me, but that's obviously a true thing, but I do strive to make my shows as helpful as possible. So this is what could have happened in the game. White just simply jumped out at 80, and um, to resolve the weakness at J17, black kicks at 81, and yeah. So Erasmus asks if white 72 at F17, how would black best make use of the free ladder breaker he gets? Um. Yeah. So if if that's the case, if black really tries to actually, if black has a ladder breaker, for example, um, well, even if he has a ladder breaker, white could just give up those 3 stones, but still have pretty good influence on the outside. And notice that since he has this wall on the in the center of the board, then this H3 invasion is going to be very juicy. I don't know why it's. I don't know why the mark is like B instead of A. I don't know why. Um, oh, and hello, anime boy, and thanks for coming again. I hope you're enjoying your Friday afternoon, and this is, well, I am. Well, that's great. I am as well. And talking to you guys has been a really awesome experience. So so does that answer your question, Erasmus? Yeah, okay. I'm glad it helped, and you're very welcome. And yes, it is going on YouTube. It would take a couple of hours to upload though. So meanwhile, I had to archive my past show video file. So it will take a while, but if you check by tomorrow morning, um, it should be there. Because with this network speed in my school is it actually takes quite a while to upload everything. So in the game, White played at R17, and this actually has a problem locally. So any of you guys could point it out? Like this move at R17 actually doesn't work, and you guys will see this later. But first of all, it's not. First of all, this move is not very urgent right now. White should be minding more about his 3 groups on the top side, which are currently weak. Um, and just locally, for example, um, black pushes at 85, and yeah, I'm just talking about a local situation. So there's black 17 is a Tsuji here, and could um the it's very it's a very beautiful Tsuji too, because it just um actually actually this might not work. Okay, because I thought 89 might work, then oh, okay. Yeah, this is pretty tricky. Um, and I think me and uh, both me and my opponent misread this. That should have been both I and my opponent. Yeah. So we ignored, um, I guess this is this is like sometimes um you just couldn't see the movies there. So yeah, that didn't work. But anyways, um, I I don't think this is the best move right now, because it's just like taking a corner anyways, or maybe half of the corner. But after black plays at 85, white finds himself immediately in trouble, and I feel like 85 is a pretty good move actually. Well, Erasmus said doesn't simply dropping down to a T14 work for black. Actually, not really. For the same reason, white could just play here, and this won't work. So, unfortunately, this was a fake Tsuji I discovered. So in the game, black put much pressure on white, and he's immediately forced to make life on the top side. And notice that when you envelop your opponent, he has to try very hard to make two eyes, and that should help you a great deal, because look at how strong black's outside already is, right? So he has to struggle here and there, but that only helps you build influence, essentially. So taking your initiative to attack is a very important technique in the game of Go, because when you are in the driving seat, your opponent is going to try his best to struggle for life, and that will not be a too good thing for white. So white 110 is actually a Tsuji here, and this is very good because if white, if black Hana's here, then this is going to be pretty much Sente, and if black just captures, then white lives with two eyes um, in the in black's turf. And oh jeez, sorry about that. Bloopers. So if black pushes through and tries to limit his eye, then this is still going to be pretty bad, because now that white has Sente power, he can pretty much force black into trouble here, and that is a battle black doesn't want to fight, because his group is not entirely alive either. Oh, so see you guys. Thanks Noah and Anime Boy for joining, and you guys will find the show on YouTube by hopefully the end of tonight or tomorrow morning. So this was actually a Tsuji, and I like this a lot. And white found eventually white found a way of to make life, but he also sacrificed those 3 stones, because after black 123, he has to capture it and 9, otherwise his group will just be dead. So it's kind of ironic here because White spent 72 in order to secure the capturing of 53, and now he has to give this away, even though he actually spent one move on that. So I think up to this point, Black has given himself a chance of retaliation, or I guess fighting back. So Black invades at 131, and here we have a battle here. I just said here twice. That's pretty bad. I sometimes lose my mind when I speak in English, but so anyways, Black tried to make life in the corner. And White tried to kill Black here. This was very complicated because neither side could afford to play one false move. For example, if Black just plays at place like this, then it's going to be pretty easy for White to make life. And G3. So you were talking about this now, Fuzzy? Okay. I got you. Because Noah was suggesting G3 and then I mean after the cut. Like after the cut here. Yeah, this will definitely work. And if it happens that way, then Black is pretty much almost like half dead. I like to say that because first of all, he doesn't have much of a living space in the corner, and second of all, White has taken his 2 stones, so that would not be a thing he'd like to see. And in the game, White played this double Hane, and despite risking the double Atari here, this was actually a pretty good move for Black because if White just chooses to capture, then this is very successful for Black himself because he just gets to retain most of the bottom territory, and White has not gained much from this exchange, and his corner is taken, most importantly. So in the game, Black gave up a couple of stones. Like up to this point, I was feeling pretty good. In fact, sometimes is those tiny shows of emotion that could eventually steer the game around. And yeah, up to this point, I was feeling pretty good. And my opponent was a little bit short of time. But I guess that just shows the drama. Because White was leading early on, but right now Black actually has a chance. So White 168 Hanes, and both sides extend. the reason black can't cut here is if he cuts right now, then this is going to be Sente for white. And if it plays there, then black is technically dead. So he could not afford, definitely not afford to play that. So I think what I should have done is to play this to play the Tiger Mouse at 172 first, because this is Sente and black must play here. And then if white continues to play, like, for example, this, then all of the pressure is going to be on black because his group is not alive, and like locally, and if it eventually dies, then that's just game over. But why didn't play this? Why play it as 172? And the next move is very sneaky. Black plays 173, and this was actually with the purpose. The correct response for white is still just ignore it and play at g12, and that'll be a good break from the trap. But in the game, white just played at 174, and this was falling into black's trap, because now I could just cut here, and when white tries to extend out and extend and connect, or maybe kill black, then all of a sudden the Atari for black at f7 is now Sente. And this was very tremendous for black, because he's technically getting so many points from this battle. So white has to give it all up. And by this point, black is already even leading a little. So this just shows you how dramatic this game could be. And this was a huge boost for black, because first of all, those stones are, I mean, it's like 15 to 20 points of solid cash. So it was a huge difference, or it made a huge difference, in better words. So do you guys have any questions so far? We're on to the second half of the show, and if you have anything you're not sure about, don't hesitate to ask. I'm going to take a drink of water. So good. Oh, and Makla asked, what does Sente mean? Sente is basically when you finish the situation first, or in better words, you have the upper hand, because you're going first, your opponent is going second, and what we strive to get in the game is to basically keep the right of Sente, because when you're in Sente, you have the, exactly as Noah the Fuzzy pointed out, the initiative to extend the lead, make a comeback, or attack a group, and do anything you want on the board. and we can see here how we miscalculated, both of us miscalculated, and this was tremendous for black. And everything after that was pretty much endgame until this dramatic moment. So by up to this point, black was still leading by a bit. So this was just plain an endgame. There isn't much to talk about because the endgame of this hasn't been too exciting. Except I want to point this out a little bit because white 232 is a Tsuji locally, because if black plays at 233, then white could well start a ko. And this is not what black wants right now. So there's that. But oh, and you're very welcome. But look at the dramatic finish of this game, though. White started a ko, and black really shouldn't have played for it. Well, in the game I thought 239 might be just a good, nice sente ko thread, and I took the ko back. I didn't realize that white could just throw in here, and after this the game is pretty much over. Right now when I talk about it, I still feel pretty bad that I've missed this. So after this I just resigned, and this was a good game for black, and for white too, but it's a pity that black didn't keep the pressure on, and Fago says, "I'll get revenge." Yeah, he's a very good player. So, I mean, this was my first league game of the year, and I was actually pretty frustrated after this, but like I said, after the game, I just come to accept. I just come to accept that mistakes, blunders, stupid errors, those are just part of the game, and it sucks when that happens. But it's just like life. You have, highs and lows, ups and downs, and this has happened to everyone, and even Mikasa, even though she's absolutely the best player. Yeah, so this has happened even to the OGS queen. To err is human, exactly, and to forgive is divine, right? I'm not sure if the your compensation plan works though. Smart, because I mean, white is not going to just connect there, right? It's weird that the move numbers went away. This was probably a bug. But yeah, and it was pretty intense. I understand that this might be like the game at a higher level for some of you, but I just feel like it's fair to share some of the done games. I haven't really done much of those. So, we oftentimes we just pick SDK or DDK games, but I I do want to broaden the scope of my reviews, and this is so over my level, my clock says. But yeah, I feel like um, if the technical level of this is very high, then the important takeaway is more of a fight back strategy. And there's the spirit in done games, and compared to other Q games should be similar. It's always that mindset of fighting back, and don't uh, don't always follow your opponent's plan, and try to keep the pressure on all the time, and try to keep focused, and try to be calm about the outcome of the game. Um, so I mean, Go playing is a very is a huge art. Is a huge type of art, and it's very hard to master. Yeah, so that pretty much concludes our first review of the day, and oh, and you're very welcome, Note Fuzzy, and I feel very happy that I actually have the like a little bit of ability to do my own reviews. So this was the second game. This was the game I played in the afternoon against Jagad. I guess I guess I guess that's right. So in this game I played as white. I noticed that my opponent actually used the mini Chinese opening against me. So this is not this is Oh, and actually wait a second. No. Oh, yeah. This was the second game. I'm going to review our game last fair go. So it's so this is the second game I played in the afternoon against Jagad, and as you guys could probably guess, I was pretty sunk because I messed up this first important game, and is that it's just like the frustration that comes with it, I guess. And sometimes that happens because I felt it was kind of like a terrible way to lose at the very last minute, and I couldn't have taken my time. But yeah, I've come to accept it as part of the game, and what I want to say is whether you're winning or losing, this game should build your character and maturity. So yeah, that's what I would say. Off of the board. So in this game, Black actually played the Kobayashi opening. This is called Kobayashi because it was invented by a pro of the same name. So it's the structure here. And this was actually pretty bad for white. I guess I was a little bit hasty. I wanted to get the game on the board as soon as possible. I should have just played this 2-space low Kakari here, and yeah, with a 2-space high Kakari there. So both should be fine. I actually used this in one of the other games. So what will happen is it should look something like this. This was a pretty old Joseki, and well, this is actually seen in some of the pro games, but so it's not. It's just that not many people play the two space lower Hakari at R6 anymore. So Fargo said Black's modern response is R3 instead of well, Kobayashi is actually played very frequently, and at least from in my opinion, because I play a lot of Kobayashi openings. Yeah. And yeah, just as Fargo mentioned, Josekipedia is actually a really good, is a comprehensive dictionary and interactive tool for learning other Joseki, and um, it's contributed by multiple users, and they actually label if a variation is good or bad, but I would recommend that you check that out, but always follow your own judgment, because those josekis are just like local positions, and so you don't want to trust like the comments on Idogo or Josekipedia that much. Yes, and Idogo and I think it's called Wall3's pattern search. It lets you search the program database. But what I'm saying is this: you're always trying to find the winning or like working style for you, because after all, like those are just opening styles, and if you look at the winning rates, then that depends on what happened in the end, right? Like just by playing on a good Fuseki shouldn't earn you anything. Like at least not like directly win the game. It could well give you an advantage, but it's the mid game or the end game that ultimately decides the outcome. Kobayashi, make her coffee mugs. That's very funny. Taro has been here for many weeks, and I do thank you for joining, and that's pretty awesome. That's how I play generally, but I want to see what some people think of as standard play. Well, it's a very general question to ask, because standard play can be could mean a totally different thing for every person. For example, if you're a disciple of the Honimbos, then in the early 20th century, what they taught was basically you can't play anything other than the Komoku, because they firmly believe that Komoku is the best Shiseki move. It's a hybrid of start point and 3-3. So, yeah. So does that answer your question? So anyway, this is old style, and white played at 10, which is also pretty bad, because if you are surrounded by a one space higher pincer, you shouldn't really be playing that, because what could happen is black would just play this strategy. And notice that even this might look like a Ponuki is not like the type of Ponuki which is worth 30 points. I just tend to play a lot of moves that make people go, Okay, sure. And Stephen Kulaz asks, explain why this Panuki is bad. Oh, and by the way, I go by Stephen as well. So, hello, Stephen. And yeah, so what we say, for example, there's a proverb which says, a Panuki is worth 30 points in the center, and even though this is Panuki is in the center, it does not offer the that fair amount of influence. First of all, because as you said, because the eye is false already. Second of all, is like half enveloped by black's group, right? So you could, like, the only bit of influence you could get is like this little radius, because black has stones as 5 and 7, and yeah, exactly, it's already thick. So you can't really get too much from here. So that's why we say this Panuki is not worth 30 points at all. It's not even close to being 30 points worse. So does that answer your question? Alright. And you're very welcome. As always. So again, black played this one. Which was not very good. Because white could eventually cut. And taking those two stones was pretty tremendous for white, because he lives very comfortably, and black has to fix. He has to make sure that the stone at R6 is captured. So it was pretty bad. It's pretty bad for black. And furthermore, it gives white the choice of Sente. So in the game, I just picked out a move at 26 in order to destroy the Kobayashi structure. Notice that this is applicable only when white has influence on the right side. So even though the Kobayashi is typically a very good structure, now that white has strong influence on the other side, this invasion at 26 is very doable. So Stephen asks, is S6 not Sente for white here? Well, it is, but like I said, S6 is not going to yield. It's not going to yield much, because first of all, black can just capture it. Second of all, you're wasting coast threats here, which you don't want to, right? Because if you just save like the Agi for now, and then you get in the Ko, then you could well use S6 as a source of coast threats, or not even S6. I think S4 is even better than that. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. And here we continue in the game. So black's taking the corner. Even so, this is pretty good for white, because notice that the original Kobayashi structure, labeled by the triangle. Actually, the Kobayashi structure is only like the combination of the two stones on the left side, But yeah, by this point, it's already pretty shattered. So white does get a comfortable outcome out of this. So are there any questions so far? Okay, good. So here, ah, Rasmus asks, why is 40 on the bottom and not on top? Well, I was afraid that if white hunts from the top, then black could just cut. And notice that because black could cut, or he could just like stand down here. Notice that white's group on the right side has not entirely lived yet, even though he has those two stones captured. So if black just decides to live on the side, then white has to seek life for his group on the right, which is not what should be happening early on in the game. So in the game, I just played 40 from the bottom in order to make sure that I have two guys and I have no weak groups. Because what you want to do is, since the end game, since it's still like early in the game, you still have plenty of chances. You don't want to leave anything weak, because if you leave anything weak, then that is just going to give your opponent a chance, a game, a prey to hunt down, and usually attacking weak groups from the beginning of the game is always going to yield profit for the opponent. So does that answer your question? Okay, and you are very welcome. I'm thirsty. And Clint asks, was it better for black to move h4 instead of taking corner? This was actually a really good question. Well, if black attaches at 27, which is a pretty common response to white's invasion at 26, then white is just going to simply extend. Now, if black allows white to take the side, then this will be very bad for black, because he still has a weak point at he still has a weak point at L4, and D5 like this. Yeah, that's still going to be quite okay for white though, because like look at this corner. How many territory, how much territory has he got, right? So, and if black plays here, which is also a common response, then white could just simply take this stone f5, or at least like take more than half of it. And this is actually a Joseki, intended for black to gain some influence and white to take some territory maybe. But I just feel like this will almost be too good for white, because this corner is like more than 20 points now. It's very tremendous. And since white has a group here, well, black could still try to like hunt white down. So it's not. So it's not game over for black just yet. But this is not bad for white. So if you know what I'm saying. Um, so anyhow, white 26 should be a very um, doable strategy, I guess. We might not even have time for the third game though, which was a bummer. But Fargo, we can talk about that later. Since that was actually a pretty epic game, and I don't want to just uh, cram it in into the last 30 minutes of the show. um, I don't know if you guys like listening to this, maybe I could do I could postpone that review of that game to next week, and I hope you guys will join. Yeah, and if you fail to join, you can still find out the what I said in the actual review by just locating the YouTube video. And yeah, if you guys would subscribe to my YouTube channel, or just for clarification, it's not my YouTube channel, it's the League's YouTube channel, and I am one of the moderators of the channel. Since we have this league going on, for if you guys don't know, it's called the Nova League. It's OGS's first league. It's been here for over half of a month. So it's been pretty awesome. We'll reopen registration starting from January the 20th. So that is going to be a heck of a great time, since more people are going to join. And yeah, hopefully we'll see more players coming in. And you guys can feel free to rally for more people to join. We have 128 players so far, and that's really good. Well, when this registration reopened, it reopens on January the 20th. So you'll find a sign up form on the website. Let me just type it again. Actually, it's easy to remember. It's pinaco.org/TNL, stands for the Nova League, and it'll be a very cool chance if we could see you there. And thanks again for showing your interest. You should be able to find every bit of information on that website, since it's connected to many things. So okay, we will look at the second part of this game and leave the third game to next week. So in the game, white Kakari and black played a pincer, and I figured that maybe I should just play the simple Joseki here. That'll be very promising for white. And if black chooses to play at 47, then white could just take the side. Then this is not bad for white either. But anyway, it should be better than this side split, or like the double Kakari at Q14. This is actually, like, I just couldn't resist the urge to double Kakari from this side. I knew this was probably going to be bad, but I just wanted to create more trouble, and by possibly
creating more groups, I guess. But the takeaway from here is that when black has stones or force on the bottom side, so on the same side, then the double carries here are not good. So this includes R14 and Q14. Um, the same reason why you shouldn't be doing that in a center say opening, because black will have a stone at Q10, which is even worse. So anyway, I didn't play very well here. And I tried to make much more of a combat. But even so, black in the future, black S17 is Sente because white has to make life in the corner. So this is actually really bad for white. And I extended at 58, and I don't know why black didn't play the Sente move here. This would be actually very tremendous. Because think about it, like, how could white respond to this, right? Like if he plays here, then this is like very ugly. Then, but if he plays the bamboo move at 60, then this is even worse, right? So by extending at 59, black has will be able to expand his Moyo very quickly, and meanwhile just give white much of a trouble. Basically, the choice between two empty triangles, yeah, is pretty bad. So I guess why should I play this? I don't know why. It could be. This would be much better, and in fact, I think this is the normal move for white to continue, and this will still be not bad, at least for white. So it's amazing how mentality does things to you sometimes. Like you just sometimes you just feel like I have to do this. You feel compelled to act early and act aggressively, but sometimes it might not work out exactly the best way. And and hello Napster, very good to see you. I'm glad that you could join my show, and I hope things have been going well, and this is hopefully an enjoyable Friday afternoon for you. It's afternoon, but it's pretty much dark outside. It gets dark very early, and it's cold, and it's snowing. And yeah, so moving on the game, I really just screwed up here. That's the best way to put it. And I tried to capture 64, and black must not extend and escape here, because that will be just like falling into white's plan. Because if he does this, then white can just extend at 68, then black has to live at 69, then this bend at 70 is going to be gorgeous for white. So this will not be the ideal picture for black. So instead Hana is at 65, which was tremendous. And here comes the worst blunder
of the game, and you guys you guys could point out why this xhu98 doesn't work. And I think for fair go and like probably no the fuzzy should be pretty easy to spot, but it's amazing that this actually happened. Um, so this is my question for you guys listening. So how does black refute white here? So as Noah the Fuzzy proposed, black could extend at 67. And exactly, this is going to be very bad for white because it's basically game over. If you like, and 012. Well, 012 I think will be just 012 is actually what happened in the game, but this actually let white go with this mistake. So yeah, Noah the Fuzzy pointed out this very good solution here, and maybe I should give you a cookie for that. But yeah, this would be game over if if black actually played that, and you and white could not afford to lose the 2 stones either. This would just be too much. But luckily, black didn't quite see the easy solution here, so white is given a chance to build kind of like a wall on the outside. So it's all fair and square for him now. But even so, black has gathered this huge mass of territory on the outside, which is hard to catch up with. And but there was always one thing in the back of my mind, which was to kill this entire bottom black group. And I knew that it was not very doable at the moment, but I always had that feeling that I'm going to kill this group. So I played many moves around there. I have no idea why the game tree just jumped. So on white 90 was kind of sent it, but not really because see now he has this weakness at N11, which could well be lethal if black actually played that, because it would just like split white in half, and that's not a good thing to happen. And black actually blundered here, so which allowed white to take the 3 stones, but it's like 6 points of territory anyway, so it's not a huge deal. And white gets to Hane at 100, which is still pretty bad because typically if you have a Go teacher, he or she should be telling you not to Hane a stone at the 4th line, because whew, someone in the other room is playing Riptide. Dorm Life, yeah. It's a pretty good song. But hopefully I don't need to cut that out in my video because of YouTube has music copyright thing. So anyways, this was pretty bad for. Napster said can't even hear it. Okay, that's good then. This means my microphone has really good uh, ability of reducing ambient noise. Is there a lot of noise interfering with my voice right now? Okay, cool. I hope it's clear and loud for you guys. The background music. How's your background music? So, anyways, I tried to put much pressure on the black group. It didn't quite work out. We have a couple of minutes left, so we're just gonna speed up a little bit here. And as you guys could see, it didn't quite work for white since black can just make life incente because white has to somehow capture this 123 to make it a full wall. And since this is too much of an open skirt for him, white has almost pretty much lost the game, in my opinion. Because if he can't make a decent sized moyo, then this will be very bad. So I tried exactly. The right is too big, and white couldn't make a decent moyo here because first of all, he has open skirts. Black would easily invade from like from the openness at M9 or L9, for example, and plus white has severe shape problems himself. As you can see, the shape of the entire white wall is easy to tackle, since the black stones at 105 and 67 could be causing a lot of trouble. Not necessarily now, but later. So I tried to finish off the wall, and black targeted 135, which was a body blow for white because like up to this point, there are already too many open skirts for white to defend, and it's almost impossible for him to make a complete moyo. And up to this point, I was feeling pretty torn because the frustration, the discontentment, the anxiety, the pressure. It's just amazing how the game does to you. And like, this is what I usually do. I talk about like how I feel when I'm playing the game in my reviews. I feel like there needs to be some discussion on how do you how do you approach the game mentally when you play the game. I think that's a very important aspect. And so yeah, I do want to offer my opinions on that. But yeah, up to this point, I was feeling pretty bad, but then again, black played at 139, and I figured that one of the almost impossible tasks was to Kosumi had or kick at L8 and possibly split black's two groups, and I feel like that was kind of like a plan in
hidden side. But I mean, once again, this is bad, because white 142 and white 44, um, they were trying to force black to live here, um, in Sente, but black just ended up building like building the eye or half of the eye, in Sente here, because white has to live in the corner. So up to this point, um, it just keeps getting better and better for black and worse for white. But black 149 was probably like a little bit too confident. I feel like he should have just played somewhere in the center. That was more important, because once you go into the center, then you have white has lots of things to worry about. For example, like the cut at H12, stuff like that. So I felt this was too confident for black, and this was when I thought, okay, I will have to kill either like the two black stones at 151 and 139 to either make a lot of territory in the center, or just kill the entire black dragon. So here we go, and 158. Actually, Sabar just messaged me. We completed the match. Okay, but actually, could you answer me? I'll be able to deal with that after the show. I'll deal with it after the show. Yeah, and thanks for the patience. So 158 was pretty much move towards the kill, and 162 and 164 pretty much cut black's dragon. So now, you see, when you're leading, you don't want to give your opponent too many chances, because like what black has done here, he has given white an extra chance to possibly kill the black dragon and get back into this game. So let me just check the messages. Okay, it's no problem. So are there any questions so far? Stephen asks, why did black allow that cut? Blunder? Well, yeah, I feel like black was asking too much, and he probably should have just allowed white to cut those two stones and just keep it nice and steady and simple. And so now he has given white another chance here, really. But white is pretty desperate as well. I mean, sorry for that. Let me just reconnect. Okay, here we go. So both players are really desperate now, because black still hasn't got two eyes yet, and even though there's a lot of room for him to make those eyes, it's not too easy. Black tried to capture white in the center. I kind of wondered why black didn't just like extend here, but maybe I guess that was reasonable, because if black just captures here, then white 192 is Sente, and then white could just push. But I mean, even so, this will be a pretty good chance for black to use the agi and make something really serious happen. So I didn't quite get why black didn't play there.
But so in the end, White miraculously um, fi- finished building his net and enclosed Black's group nicely. And notice that if Black extends, then this is not going to work for him because he'll have to capture here, and then is a nice and clean capture for White. And if that happens, well, it could be. It's not game over just yet for him, because he has gathered a huge chunk of territory by killing this entire group. So, in the end, Black got very desperate, and after realizing that it's impossible for him to live now, Black resigns, and so that's the end of the game. And fortunately, I managed to make a comeback here, and I was glad that I was able to um, win the game back in the uh, brackets, and up to this point I had one win, one loss, so it's pretty good. But so I guess those are the two games we'll look at today. But um, I just want to say that sometimes mentality could bring a lot of changes to your game, and it's important that when you're leading, you do not give your opponent that many chances. You just play steady and solid, and don't don't slack up like I did in the first game, because blunders could be very bad. Um, it could be there could be they could be really regretful as well, because it's the worst type of losing in my opinion, because um, I mean, if your opponent's too good, then you put your hands up and say, okay, too good, and then I resign. Then that's like more respectable than, I've been leading the entire time, and then I just blundered. But yeah, I guess that's part of the game, and so I feel like by talking about these two games, um, it could, like, even though they're done games, I have to admit, could be they could be at a higher level than most of the people here. It's just that I wanted to bring two of my own games today and talk about them, and hopefully those will give you an insight on the spirit and the attitude or the strategy in general of like how to maintain your lead or how to make a good comeback. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Are there any remaining questions I could take? And if you have any questions regarding the league, this is the best time to ask me now, because um, obviously I'm one of the co-founders of the league, and obviously we have our wonderful and beautiful and talented Mikasa. You guys should go thank her as well, and it's important that it's important to appreciate the work done by other servers, by other users on this server, because we're all just pretty much putting our like spare time into the building of this league, and we're going to see that this league is possibly one of the most promising Go leagues in the internet, like worldwide right now. So it's important to appreciate the contribution of people around you, and yeah, and Noah the Fuzzy, thank you as well for being a teacher, and Steven, thank you for being a part of this show, and and right now he just asked, is it available for players of any strength? Yeah, we
our current range of players is from 4 Dan to 25Q. The ratings on ODS are a little bit depressed, so if let's say if you are like 15K here, you could actually be probably like 12K or 13K in real life, and yeah, see, I know, right? You're 8K on QGS, on KGS, but no, the fuzzy is 2 Dan on KGS. See, that's the thing. Like, you don't have to worry about it if OGS doesn't give you the like a higher rank. You don't have to worry about it because your strength shouldn't be affected no matter what, right? So you're still good to go. Yeah, so that's that, and there will possibly be another poll coming up in the league because we need to decide the time settings for next month. So we'll probably start around January 20th as well. And meanwhile, the reopening of the registration is gonna happen. So I mean, I'm not going to just like bomb every chat channel on OGS, but I do hope that this the reputation of this league could be built by the word of mouth. And so please do recommend this league to your friends if you're enjoying it, and maybe if your friend is interested, then you guys can surely play together, maybe in the same class. I know that C. Rogers has a real life friend who's in his same class, so that's why I'm saying this. And this league could well build friendships, and I mean we're an array of different people from like all over the place. We have different playing styles, we have different strengths, we speak different languages, but what we're trying to do is to offer the freedom for you guys. We're doing polls on all the time settings, so we're absolutely just choosing what's working for you guys best, not just the 7 people admin team making all the decisions themselves. So yeah, and I would like to thank you guys all for joining their show today, and this will be available on YouTube by tomorrow morning, or maybe tonight depending on the uploading speed. And wow, I feel like that was actually a lot better than the last show. Yeah, so don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hopefully you can support my work by liking the forum thread. I've got 64 likes, which is pretty impressive. I'm very glad to see that. It's just really great to receive such levels of positive support from all of you guys. So if you want to ask me to teach a game, feel free to do that. I might not be free all the time, but I do have time for correspondence games. And if you need any help with the server, I can also I'll also be very happy to assist, since I am a moderator here. And yeah, so thank you guys for taking the time, and have a good Friday evening, and bon weekend.